swing, way full swing at this point. We got we're through the first day of the tournament, the play-in games. So the first round more than half over at this point, and there's definitely been some clear messages sent by some teams, some conferences, and some contenders and some pretenders. Certainly separated from the mix, and we'll discuss that as well as give out plenty of picks for today's games. Of course, we have our YouTube Premium. We were smoking yesterday. I think both Brian and myself have had a run, I would say, since 2021 began. Both killed it in 2020, and then in 2021 when the calendar turned, both of us, I think, hit like a little bump in the road, and then we both have had runs where we've been kind of up and down throughout that. We've had some good weeks in there, but we haven't had like our normal runs. But I think that one thing about it, I know, Brian and I, have worked together for years, and Rod and I, we never made it to March Madness last year, and Ron, of course, is newer with us, but I know that Brian and I, and it's like, we've mixed it up with the best cappers in the world for years. So, I mean, I think we both know that, the bigger the stage, the better we are. And, you saw it yesterday, and you saw it. It's like, I think Brian was 4-1. I was 6-0 in my premiums. And I'll tell you what, I think my video picks were like 15-1 or something as well. So, I'm just ready to keep it rolling. But, I definitely have a few observations from yesterday and some things that, you could always carry over. That's the nice thing about the tournament, is that after the first day, you can take a look at certain conferences, certain teams, certain accomplishments that teams have had, and how that will relate and how that's translated into the tournament, where you have interconference play and stuff like that. And what we clearly saw was that the Big Ten is very good at the top with Illinois. But once you get past there, you have Wisconsin that uses, I've talked about this all season long, that they use the regular season as their spring training for the tournament, and they're just built to play tournaments. I mean, so they came out, and, it was an easy winner. Hopefully you guys caught my video and, my my filibuster that I've been on for about a week about Wisconsin and how they are in the NCAA tournament. And, that was one of that and Syracuse were the two most, dominating performances yesterday, right? Against, we could say Illinois, but they didn't play San Diego State and North Carolina. They played Drexel. So, they were certainly, awesome in their own right, but it wasn't like, taking San Diego State behind the woodshed and just beating them to a pulp. And, Wisconsin did the same thing to Roy Williams, North Carolina Tar Heels. They wanted out, It got to the point where it was like they got it down to 14, and all of a sudden, bang, those non-net moving threes. And it was like, we want out. We want out, It's like we just can't wait for this game to be over. And we saw that there. And then, we saw that the Big Ten, kind of what I said all season long, is that at the top it's really good, but then you kind of start to move down, and the Ohio States and Purdue's are, they're not bad teams, but Purdue was a number 4. They got beat by North Texas. Ohio State was a 2. They got beat by Oral Roberts, who was underrated. We got to say what we say. Brian picked a money line. I had him, with the points in my video. So I don't know. Some people still on YouTube still bashed me on that video for some reason, even though I picked the winner. It's like, you got burned on this one. It's like, how did I get? I picked Oral Roberts plus 16. How did I get burned? I missed that part. But anyways, also clearly the Pac-12 is way underrated and totally looked past because they play on the Pac-12 network, and nobody gets to see a lot of their games. And here they are. UCLA did the textbook. The textbook game against Michigan State, led for 48 seconds the entire game, and then beat them in overtime, which is just, how you draw it up on the telestrator, even with Mick Cronin as head coach. And then Oregon State just busting up Tennessee. Tennessee, you want to talk about, they didn't want out. They still thought they had a chance, and it was sad. It was just sad to watch. It was like they would get it down to 11, right? And it would just be sad, right? It was just, you got no chance. Slim just left town a long, long time ago. It was over at the half, and I know people were probably chasing at halftime, and it was like, if you're chasing at halftime, then you didn't watch that first half because they got no chance. None. Well, today we have a lot more Pac-12 in action. It'll be interesting to see how they hold up. Brian, any other observations out there about who what conference looked terrible? Because we saw the ACC look not so good in spots with Carolina, and then we saw Syracuse mop the floor with San Diego State. We saw the SEC, Florida. After all the talk, after all the line movement, after all was said and done, they beat Virginia Tech, and then we saw, Tennessee just get stomped by Oregon State. I mean, that was. I'd say the Wisconsin game, the San Diego State, and you could throw Oregon State in there as well as just the beatdown, right? It was maybe not like the score that we saw in the Illinois game, but just the one-sided clobbering over the head with a 2x4, right? I mean, it was just. Romanelli, am I off base here with my analysis here on the Oregon State, Tennessee? I mean,
no.
Just crushing, right? It was it was men and boys,
They should have called it.
They should have called it. If it was a fight, they would have stopped it. Definitely.
The one game that hurt me that wasn't a premium pick was Liberty. I mean, they even had a chance to tip back at the end for a half-point cover. They shot it through it. They hung around, just couldn't get the cover. Mitch was right about
it was
that game.
The
I
thing,
think Liberty had a fighting chance.
Well, here was that game, and if you saw my video, which I know Brian doesn't watch my videos, but that's
and the refs didn't do him any favors.
I know he wouldn't hit the like button anyway if he did. But, I said in the video that I liked Liberty at 9. I didn't like them at 7.5. So that was, and that's a game that you can't make as a premium pick because it's like if you like it at 7.5 and you don't like it at 9, for Oklahoma State, or if you like Liberty at 9 and you don't like them at 7.5, well, 1.5. That's not, there's too many games that I like a lot better than that, like Wisconsin and like Syracuse and.
Wisconsin was a premium for me, but honestly, it was one of my least favorites.
Really, that was my top. Me and Ron were just like. We had already spent the money. The night before, he was like, I love it. We had already spent it. We already had it. We already had the money spent.
I do see one game today. It could be an outright nice dog winner, so we'll see how that goes.
I see a few out there. That are ripe for the dog, and I see a few out there where I think the sharps are barking up the wrong tree again. I see a few where the public are barking up the wrong tree. I think my picks are a little different style than I had yesterday. I'm not expecting to go 6-0 every single day in the NCAA tournament, but I'll just say that winning days in the NCAA tournament for me aren't all that rare. So I was surprised that I got to 6-0, but I was not surprised that after the first 3 games I had locked in a winning day. It was like
the first 2 days are always the best because the lines are there simmering for a little bit.
Yep. Well, now the lines for tomorrow have been out for a while now too, so we'll have a chance on those too. So, how about you, Rod? Anything that you picked up on there? You're muted.
Yes, muted. My bad. My train was rolling through here. Small town train. Didn't want to get anybody in trouble, and sounded like we were on a submarine again. So for me, it was Houston. Love seeing Houston. It was good. I think that it's going to come down to Houston and Illinois there in this tournament. Big battle. Love to see that on it. Things that jumped out to me was. If you like first half unders, a lot of first half unders, a lot of people coming out jitters, tough shooting, a lot of 0-6s to start games. But that's expected. It's expected. You get nerves. And it was like 9-1, I think, to the first half under I seen yesterday. Stood out to me.
All right, well, let's get into it. We got some good action for today. Of course, it's March Madness. These are the days. Normally, this would be Friday, And it's always like you're always a little tired after that. Day one is just an exhausting day. Like, I mean, for me, I had to do all the videos for today. They shot our pool outside with concrete. And, I did NBA and live shows, the whole 9 yards. So, but this is what I do, and this is kind of the last hurrah for college hoops, and then we go into baseball. So, and then tomorrow we got 10 NBA games on top of the round of 32. Anyways, Memphis-Dayton in the NIT. I had Colorado State yesterday in that one against Buffalo. I took a money line, so took the spread out of the equation in that one. Rare money line favorite play for me. Memphis-Dayton, Colorado-Georgetown. This should be a gem. Florida State, UNC Greensboro. Which Florida State team do we see? Kansas against Eastern Washington. We know Eastern Washington can score crazy, so that should be fun. Brian, any of those four?
Yeah, I think Colorado's going to end this Georgetown run, and I don't think it'll be a good game at all. I think Colorado's no shame in losing to the Beavers, and I think they're just far and away the superior team. So I think they win this game by 15, and then I'm going to take UNC Greensboro plus the points against Florida State, 6-4 to close the season. They look like they have some chinks in their armor. I think the Spartans here can keep it within 6 or 7.
I like it. Ron, any of those?
Yeah, in the NIT game with Memphis and Dayton, I'm going to take the under. We know Memphis likes to play their strong defense, and this is a different Dayton team than we're used to. Not as strong on the offensive side without Obi Toppin in there. I think this is going to go under the total. I think we could see both teams in the 60s. And I also like Colorado. You got to give credit to Georgetown for making that historic run in the Big East tournament. They deserve this spot, and they earned it. But I do think the dream ends today. Colorado, I think, is a lot better than what we've seen. They did lose the Pac-12 championship, but that was only by 2 points. And before that, they won 6 games, 2 of them over USC and 1 of them over UCLA tournament teams. I think this Colorado team could have a chance of scaring Florida State next round if FSU winds up getting the win too. So I'll take Colorado, lay the points. I think it's a 10-point win.
How about you, Rod?
For me in the Dayton-Memphis game, I like Dayton. Give me Dayton plus the points. Just off strength of schedule, Memphis has played UCF 3 times. Ooh. Give me Dayton. They beat Rhode Island. Recently beat the Bonnies. They did get beat by VCU last game, but solid team. That's just too many points for me. I like Dayton in this one. And I like UNC Greensboro. We got Isaiah Miller, led by leading the Greensboro team in there. And exactly like I said, which FSU team are we going to get? One that shows up and hammers them? Is possible. But I think the Spartans come and put up a good fight here. They can actually play some solid D in this one. And that's just too many points. So give me Greensboro plus the 10.5 in that one. And just like I said, Eastern Kentucky and Kansas, I think, is a track meet. The line opened at 143. It's up to 146. I don't think that's even high enough yet. Give me the over 146 on that one.
Well, going to make it a consensus here on Colorado against Georgetown. I just think that, like I said, the Pac-12 way underrated, man. And Colorado is just that suffocating defense. Wright is, me and Tony Brown can argue all day long. I think Wright's a 12-year NBA guy, man. He's one of those guys. He's like Draymond, It's like he's the guy you want on your team, And he doesn't get the recognition the Pac-12 that Mobley gets, but I think he plays D as well. I don't know if he's as good as Mobley on defense, but he's good. Maybe he is. Maybe I think he's not as good offensively. Different players. Mobley, to me, so they gave Mobley an A- rating, the scouts on defense. And I don't know where the minus is, but they said he's a little thin. And that's true. His legs are a little thin. And so that's his minus. Which I don't see it, but
I'll take that minus.
Yeah, I'll take it too. I think the free throw shooting for me, it's for all the USC guys is the issue. But Colorado is just, they're just a beast on defense. I could see them frustrating Georgetown to hell and back. That 137 is probably a good under, too. Florida State, UNC Greensboro. I ain't touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. I could see it going either way. I could see Greensboro winning outright. I could see Florida State winning by 25 because they certainly have the talent to do that.
Yeah.
They do. Florida State is the tallest team in the country. And their biggest guy is not just a big guy. He's super athletic. And when they're on, they're on. I mean, they made it to the final of the ACC tournament. It's not like they lost to Georgia Tech, but it's not like, they're slouches. They made it to the final of their conference tournament. They beat a lot of good ACC teams. They beat Louisville by 100, right? They beat the crap out of them. Louisville's not in this tournament. I didn't even realize that until last night. Just tells you how busy I am. I can't even name the field. I did do a bracket and everything. How many games did you guys lose in your bracket? You do brackets, anyone? You guys? I lost 3.
I lost a few.
I lost 3.
I think I lost 3 or 4.
I did, and I didn't even look. I had Ohio State.
I had Ohio State in the bracket.
I bet against them on the money line and then points. So I don't know what the hell.
I had Ohio State.
Whenever I fill a
bracket,
I end up betting against my bracket.
Everybody had Ohio State. Come on. There's only 102,000 brackets that are left that are perfect.
I only have 3 losses. My Final Four is still there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And, most of my teams that I have going far, a lot of those games that were the toss-up games that probably roasted a lot of people were the ones that I won. North Texas and Oregon State and, all of those.
Watch Texas get beaten outright today. That's my winner, so,
Texas, Shaka Smart, they ain't going to lose. I mean,
yeah, I know. I'm just
lose to Abilene Christian. Let's see. It's like we took out Oklahoma State, Baylor. It's like, yeah, we're going to lose to Abilene Christian in a big game with Shaka Smart coaching. The guys only covered every game in March. That Kansas Eastern Washington, once again, not a game I'm rushing to the window because I know Eastern Washington has a chance where they can get ahead in this game. But I think the issue is that you got a coach that's, it doesn't always look pretty in March for Self, though. That's the whole thing is that, like Jim Boeheim coming out and beating San Diego State by 25, I don't think anyone was overly shocked by that. It wasn't a shocker, right, that Syracuse won. I think a lot of our cappers, in fact, had Syracuse money line. A lot of them did. I think Rod did. A lot of them did.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of money line. Like, it was the most money-lined pick out there of all of our ones. It was like, I'd say half the cappers that picked Syracuse had a money line in that game. Tony Brown had a money line, too. But
I wouldn't.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas lost this game.
I wouldn't be shocked if they lost. I wouldn't be shocked if they won by 30, and I wouldn't be shocked if they won by 3. It's like this is a good game to not bet. At least as far as
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, if I had Bitler money, maybe I guess I could wear some tight jeans and maybe sneak out a Bitler tip.
Yeah,
and,
I got my
put
tight
on
jeans
it.
on today. Look at Hartford yesterday. They pulled off like a half-point cover yesterday. The crappy teams keep it close sometimes.
Bitler tips you 20, you drop in your pants.
Right.
We already went over this.
just checking to see if anyone changed their mind. Just checking.
I had 1,200 for tipping yesterday, so I was all over the place.
Nice.
The women were loving me.
Stay away from the Waffle House on payday. That's all I gotta say. Stay the hell away from Waffle House. LSU against St. Bonnie's. I don't know. I have no idea. Michigan against Texas Southern. I'm going to guess we're going to see a lot of ass slapping in this one. Creighton against UCSB. 12 versus 5. Which we know how that always goes. And Alabama against Iona. Rick Pitino in the NCAA tournament. Another one of those guys. Brian,
I'll start off with my 2 leans. I think Texas Southern keeps it within 20 of Michigan. I think Michigan, just like Florida State, showed a couple chinks in their armor down the stretch and What's the motivation for them to absolutely?
I'm going to say they win by 50. I'm going to say 50.
We'll see. I just
50.
It's not a game I'm rushing to bet the house on. It's just something to keep me interested. I just don't see Michigan covering this one. And Iona plus the points against Alabama. I think Coach Pitino can keep one of my favorite colleges competitive against Bama. I think it's a 12-point game. And then my upset of the day, the Gauchos, taking them money line. I was going to take the spread for a little action, but I like that to be the upset of the day. I think they knock off Creighton. Saw what Creighton did with Georgetown. They got walloped. I think the Gauchos.
Right. They lost to Creighton. They lost to Creighton. They lost to Butler and Georgetown, and they beat UConn. It's like they are very tough to figure out. The Creighton Blue Jays.
Upset of the day, right there, Gauchos.
I don't doubt it. I mean, when you lose to Georgetown by 40, it's like I didn't even know Georgetown could score 40. It's like normally if you think Georgetown won by 40, you would say 60-23. It's like that's like right. I didn't know they could score more than 40. Ron, how about you in this grouping?
Yeah, I'm going to take a lean with Iona as well. I think Alabama has a chance to make a deep run in this tournament, but I think this first game might give them a little bit of trouble. Iona, usually they're more of an offensive first team, but under Pitino, they've played really solid defense, 18th ranked in effective field goal defense. Their defense is the reason why they're in this tournament. They gave up 48, 52, 64, and 51 to their opponents in the MAAC conference tournament. They're playing really good defense. If you play defense, you keep games close. So I'll take the points with Iona.
Rick Pitino has had so much success in the NCAA tournament. It's crazy. I've told this story. I don't know if you've been on the show, but when I was at Boston University as a freshman, we went to the Sweet 16. Rick Pitino was our coach, and we beat Ohio State. We went to the Sweet 16, and it was a big ass deal, And he was gone after that. He went to Providence, and took that Billy Donovan team, way deep into the tournament too. And then he's got a couple rings. He's not like a guy that just sat there on the bench at one place and won like Dean Smith and John Wooden. This guy's been all over the map, and he wins everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
Rod?
For me in the Iona game, I like the over. I think everybody's been looking. That's what a little misconception there about with Iona, and you're looking the way they played in the tournament. It was all unders. It was under 4-1 to the under. But before that, Iona they play up to whatever they're going to play. And Alabama plays a fast pace. They're ranked 11th in pace of play, and Iona will keep up with them and score points. I love the over in that one. Points, plenty. I think it opened at, what did it open at? And it's now up. It's up 3 points, I think. That's what I've seen. That's up 2 points. I still don't think that's even high enough. Take the over 147 in that one. And I agree. I like Texas Southern plus the points. I think that's too many. I think Michigan wins, but I think that's just too many points. Michigan wins by 22 points in that one.
50.
I think you're smoking something.
This is the program that loves to ass slap, whoop it, all that other stuff. I mean, this is their chance. They love that stuff. They love it. The sportsmanship goes out the window with these clowns, man. They have no idea what that is. But meanwhile, when they're on the wrong end of it, then it's bad sportsmanship, right? Anyways, so LSU St. Bonnie's, I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I loved St. Bonnie's. When they announced the bracket, I was like, they got screwed. And, they won the A10. They won the A10 tournament. They got screwed in this spot. So St. Bonnie's, the way that this works is that St. Bonnie's is a better overall rebounding team. No one is better on the offensive boards than LSU. Right? I don't know what the rankings are or whatever, but watching them play, there's no one better on the offensive boards than LSU. And it's like, even when they're not pounding the boards, it just seems that when you pound the boards, that you're also the team that gets that weird bounce that, the guy throws up the three, it hits the front of the rim, comes right back to one of your own players. It's like, that's That's how LSU is. And for St. Bonnie's, they're a good offensive rebounding team, and they're a better defensive rebounding team. So this is gonna be an ugly war. If you're willing to take St. Bonnie's here, you basically have to say, I'm willing to figure that this is going to be a 1-point game. I mean, that's really what you're saying if you take St. Bonnie's here, is that this is going to be a 1-point game, and my 1.5 or 2 points is going to be good enough. Because I think it does have the potential to be that game, that 1-point game. I just don't see St. Bonnie's killing LSU, and I could see LSU winning by 7. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe it is a 1-point game. I think there's a high probability that this is a super, super tight game, and that 1.5 and 2 point do factor. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not betting that thing. No chance. I got other games. I'm on hookers and blow with Rick Pitino and everybody else. I got the right. I got the Iona recruiting coordinators right here with me. So why bother?
I think the winner there is clear cut. I think it's right there for you for the.
And LSU St. Bonnie's.
Yep.
But I think you would get. I probably can guess what side you're on, and I could probably make a case for that side, which I just did, and I can make a case for the other side, which I just did. Right. So it's like, we saw LSU lose a 1-point game to Alabama just a couple of days ago. Right. I had LSU in that game. I was the only one. All you guys were on Bama, right? And it's like, so I get it. I watch the games. I see how they pound the offensive boards, and there's certain things that are just super frustrating. So how about it's like the hitter that goes down 0-2, right? And he pecks and he pecks and he pecks and he pecks and he pecks, ends up walking, right? I mean, these are like the things that just get under your skin. And offensive rebounds are the same way. It's like you made the stop. The guy didn't make the shot. Now they get it again. It's like, oh, man. It's like, it's like Mitch Trubisky as your quarterback. It's like your team recovers the fumble, and he fumbles it right back. It's like, I mean, it's just super frustrating. So I could see, this being that type of game. It's going to be a war, physical. And, I don't know. I just think there are better places to have my money than this one. I just think there is, and that's just me.
Yeah.
But I can make a case either way, and if anyone has one side or the other feels really strongly, I agree with you both. It's like I had St. Bonnie's on the paper, and I couldn't get it into my premium picks, and I couldn't get a wager in on it. So it's like I was there. But I couldn't get there, because I think that I've heard I think the thing that killed it for me for St. Bonnie's, and I know people hate it when people say this, but I hear way too many people saying St. Bonnie's. Way too many people. We could look through the comments here on YouTube. I'm going to guess they're all saying St. Bonnie's. We haven't had a chance to look at them.
That's the best thing about the Facebook group. I like to read the comments.
Rod had a thing like saying all the different types of bettors, like always bets against the group. The guys like it's like a bracket of different types of sports bettors. Like me, never says lock, right? I'm in there, never says the word lock.
Right, Bittler always fades the public.
Not always. There's sometimes. Every once in a while, I do toss.
98.9%.
Yeah, I would say it's not, at least 90%.
Well, now we go to the games where the rubber really meets the road here. These are the big boys take center stage now. USC and Drake, St. Louis, Mississippi State in the NIT, Iowa Grand Canyon. Kid I went to school with is the medical guy for Grand Canyon. He sits on the bench, so we'll be looking for Jordy Hackett there. UConn versus Maryland. We could throw in one more here because we're getting into that. We have an odd number somewhere. So Virginia against Ohio is the other one. Brian, any of these 5?
Yeah, I probably could do a pick on every single one of them, but I'm going to cut it down. I like USC Trojans minus the points against Drake. USC is just very talented. I don't like how this line is and how the money's moving and stuff, but I'm going to go with the Trojans here. I think they decimate Drake. And then I'm going to take a strong lean to the St. Louis Billikens. I know they're probably disappointed to be in the NIT, but I think this team's going to win the NIT. I think they're better than Mississippi State. I'm going to lay the points there. And then the best bet of the day taking the points. Grand Canyon plus the 14.5 against Iowa. I think we see another Big Ten team that's overrated, and which pains me to say, but I think Grand Canyon can keep it within 7 or so. So I'm going to take a shot there with Grand Canyon. I'm not going to do any money line. I don't think they win it.
How about you, Ron?
I'm going to agree with you. I think if there was a 15-2 upset today, it'd be this one, Grand Canyon, Iowa. I'm not saying there will be, but, I mean, Grand Canyon is a perfect matchup for Iowa. I think Iowa's probably not too happy that they drew Grand Canyon in this first round, because Grand Canyon just does everything that Iowa's had troubles with this season, and that starts with the center for Grand Canyon, 7-foot Ashburn Mitch guard. The defense runs through this guy, and he is really talented. I think Luka Garza is going to have some troubles with him in this game. He's really physical, and I don't know, when we see Garza having to get physical, he struggles. And Grand Canyon overall, really, really good defensive team. I think they keep this game close. It could be a really tight one. I'm not sure if Grand Canyon pulls it out, but I do think they definitely cover. So I'll take the points with the Antelopes.
Rod?
For me, I agree with you. USC here over Drake. Drake was lucky to win the last game. So I think this is where the Drake story ends. USC is just way better. Bigger, better. And I said yesterday about Arkansas. It's about the same here with USC. Give me USC and lay the points in that one. And the Iowa Grand Canyon, I like over. I think we're going to see a track meet in that one. Both teams can score. Give me the over 145 in that one.
So, since they went to the play-in game in 2011, play-in teams are 14 and 18 straight up in their next round games. But
what are they against the spread?
I'm sure there were dogs in every one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a good
Shaka, is the only one to get someone to the Final Four from the play-in. That was the year I won the bracket contest. Pick against Shaka in the tournament, and but for the most part, they do come in at this 11th spot, and in recent years, since 2015, 16, the record has dropped considerably for these teams even being close. Like last time out, Arizona State won the play-in. They played Buffalo in the next round. 91-74 Bulls. It's like, this is the way that it normally has been. Belmont came in as 11, lost by deuce to Maryland. Syracuse came in as the 11. Of course, they made it to the Sweet 16, right? And you had St. Bonnie's as an 11. They lost to the Gators in 2017-18 by 15. Kansas State came in as 11, lost to Cincinnati 75-61. So you could see a long line. USC came in as the 11 and beat SMU 66-65. Then they ran into Baylor and lost by 4. It was a good USC team. And Michigan actually was a play-in team in 2015, and they lost to Notre Dame. Wichita State was a play-in 2015, 2016. I remember that one. They beat Arizona in the first round, and then they lost to that good Miami team. So here's the Drake, and then we have a few of these today. So we have 2 of the 11s are playing today, and 1 of the 16s. Oh, I guess both of them, right? Both the 16s, yeah. Both the 16s and both the 11s. It's a weird year because they're all playing on the same day. So things to keep in mind. With that being said, I think everyone knows where I stand in this one. I'm going to take Grand Canyon against Iowa, though, with the points. I think just for the hell of it, I don't love it, but I like it enough. I also like Ohio against Virginia, and I kind of wish I would have saved that as a premium, but I gave it out as my dog of the day over at Sports Chat Place. My dog of the day yesterday was Oregon State.
Nice. So we both cashed with Little Beaver.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same way about doing Ohio for dog of the day. It was like right after I did the video and I was doing my premium picks. I'm like, damn, I should have saved that as a premium pick. Good one, you know. I don't think you'll see a better live dog than Oregon State yesterday. I just don't think you're going to see one, you know. I mean, there's going to be some dogs out there today, but, you know, and there's going to be some upsets. But you're not going to see just a gift like that for quite some time. Oklahoma against Mizzou, which Mizzou shows up. Gonzaga against Norfolk State. You got 33.5 in this one. You know, here's a 16 play, and I wonder how those guys do. I don't have it there, but I'm going to guess not well. 16 play-ins. 2 HBCUs, though. Norfolk and Texas Southern, both in the Big Dance. First time ever.
Was Duke a number 2 seed when they got knocked off by Lehigh? I forget.
I think so, yeah. Duke has dropped some big first-round games. They lost to Mercer one year in the first round. I mean, they've lost a bunch like that. There's 2 against 15 happens. You know, it happens.
Yeah, that was another good money line hit.
It happens. It happens more often than you think, but it doesn't happen all the time. But it happens. It's not. It's probably an every other year thing. 15s and 2s. I wonder if it's ever happened twice in the same tournament.
I'd love to see Norfolk outright at Gonzaga. It's not going to happen.
No chance.
No chance.
None.
I'd like to see it, but it's not going to happen.
I think if Norfolk can hold them under 100, it would be a victory. But I could see 120 from the Zags here.
Oh, easily. I think the team total is at 93, 94.
Yeah, I'd like over.
They got over 100.
Over. Because like Texas Southern, they gave up like a 16-point run against App State, and you guys think they're going to contain Michigan? It's like, you got to be kidding me. It's like zero chance of that happening. It's like, if you gave up a 16 to 18 point run against App State, I'm going to guess that Michigan probably has the ability to do the same to you. It's like, no? I mean,
I'm just saying,
throwing it out there. I mean,
Oklahoma lost. I don't know if they did. Lost to TCU by 12.
I mean, you also said Liberty was going to beat Oklahoma State yesterday, and I said, I'm like, if you can beat Baylor by 9, you got a really good chance of beating Liberty.
The referees were horrible in that game. Oklahoma State won the game, but I mean, Liberty had their chances.
Did you see Cade hit the 3 like effortless 3 for the cover? It was like they had just gotten a little bit of separation. Oklahoma State, they kick it out to Cade, and he's just like.
That guy did nothing in the first. I mean, he had like 13 points for the game.
Yeah, but when he needed it, did you see what he did when they needed it? It's like
he should have had 50 yesterday.
It's kind of like when you throw the bag full of baby powder. You know, it's just. It's like
they got the cover.
So smooth, man. It's crazy. That guy is so much better than everybody else on the court in every game I've seen. It's just ridiculous. He is so much better. It's like.
But that doesn't necessarily mean Oklahoma State's going to.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Cade Cunningham is so much better than every other player out there. It's like he makes it look so easy, you know. And that's what the great ones do. Anyways, Missouri's playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma really fell apart down the stretch. They looked like they were off to the races, right? They're knocking around teams in the Big 12, and then all of a sudden, it's like you lose 3 rivalry games in a row. Never a good sign.
They lost 2 in a row to Oklahoma State. They lost to Texas.
To Texas. They're rivals. Oklahoma State and then Texas are their rivals. They lost to both of them 3 in a row. Gonzaga, Norfolk State, BYU against UCLA. Here's your 11 seed. Here's your 11, man, is that one. And Texas against Abilene Christian. We got Shaka in March. And then here come the Oregon Ducks. I'll tell you where my dog's going to be. He's sitting right next to me. He loves them Ducks, man. He hears Ducks, he gets all excited. It's like, Ducks. Wait a minute. Did you say Ducks? It's like, he gets so excited, man. I have pictures like of Facebook every year of us watching the tournament, me and Sam watching the Ducks. He's just sitting there like, every time the guy says Ducks, he's just like, what?
Yeah, they chase the heck out of ducks. They see a duck, and Benny goes nuts. He's like, oh, duck. And we got a pond of geese over here. He's like licking his lips and ready to run and chase some geese is what he's ready to do. Birds and dogs, they love chasing them.
Any of these 5 to round out the night, Brian?
Yeah, that group, I'm going to go with Abilene Christian in a pretty nice lean. I think Texas comes out flat, and they have to turn it on the second half and get that W there. So I think the points should be enough for the cover. I'm going to take Norfolk State plus all those points. I don't see Gonzaga. Gonzaga's a 50% cover team, and I don't think they cover tonight. I think Norfolk State loses by 27-28. Bookmakers know what they're doing in this game. And I'm going to take VCU plus the points against Oregon. I think VCU has a chance to beat Oregon outright. I've been on all the Pac-12 teams today, but this one I'm going the other way. I think VCU has a chance to advance, and I'll take the points.
Against Oregon?
Yeah, against Oregon. Why not?
All right.
VCU, we've seen them over the years. They're a tournament team.
Yeah, they're really good at not scoring for 10 minutes at a time. Ron, what you got?
Yeah, I think this is a potential 11-6 upset. UCLA over BYU. BYU just plays a really volatile game. If their threes aren't falling, they're in trouble. And I think Cody Riley's going to put a lot of pressure on Matt Harms in the paint. And when he's pressured, I mean, I really liked him at Purdue, but BYU, I'm not sure it's working out with Matt Harms. And I just think that UCLA could pull off the upset. I'll take the points just in case.
I don't think he was that good. I honestly don't think he was that good at Purdue. I really don't. It's not like he got, it's not like he was one of those guys that, wasn't he splitting time there? He kind of like, he wasn't like, a full game guy there.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think he's as athletic as he needs to be at 7'3".
You think BYU is better than Colorado State?
BYU getting a 6 is really a stretch.
You think that? So you think they're better than St. Bonnie's, who got 8 or 9, or it's an 8-9. I don't know which is which, but you think BYU is better than St. Bonnie's or LSU? They played in the West Coast Conference. They're 20-6. St. Bonnie's won the A-10 outright and won the conference tournament. It's like, how is BYU a 6? Yeah. And these guys are 8 or 9. How is that? How is Maryland? How is Maryland? In this tournament. How are they in this tournament? 16-13. Meanwhile, Purdue they're 10. Meanwhile, Purdue got the floor mopped with them.
Yeah.
It's like they've made it to overtime. Congratulations. We get to kick your ass around in your own backyard again. It's like, yeah, we get an extra 5 minutes of dragging you around and kicking you in the teeth. Welcome. It was like, North Texas, man. They're just like, it was like Purdue's like, they got all excited. They got tied. It's like, oh, yeah? Here we go again. You want to go another couple laps with us? It was like, no problem. It was like the Louisville Duke game. It was all over again. It was like, oh yeah, you guys want to go to overtime? No problem. We'll drag you up and down the court for another 5 minutes.
Yes, I think UCLA's got a good chance of taking down one of the most overrated teams. And the other game I really like is Abilene Christian against Texas. I have Texas in my Final Four in my bracket, but this is a game that I'm a little worried about. Abilene Christian, we've seen these Southland teams like Stephen F. Austin pull off major upsets. And Abilene Christian, the Southland needs to get more credit than it gets. This is a tougher conference out of the bad conferences in college hoops. Abilene Christian plays fantastic defense. They've got a big center in Colton Cole. that he facilitates the offense as well. They got a good perimeter shooting. I think Texas could be in trouble here, but I just take the points. I think Texas ekes by with like a 4 or 5 point win. I'll take the points with the Wildcats.
So here's my thing about that defense, right, on Abilene, is that would they be ranked and have those defensive numbers if they played Kansas, Baylor, Kansas State, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State, and all those other guys every night? I don't think so. I don't think they would have those same numbers.
I mean, they gave up 51 to Texas Tech this season on the road. So I mean, they've played some tough teams and they performed. I mean, I don't. Obviously, they wouldn't have the same numbers, but I mean, I think they'd still have a solid defense if they had a tougher non-conference schedule.
So BYU's big out-of-conference wins were they beat St. John's 74-68, not a tournament team. Okay, they beat Utah State 67-64. Who, if Colorado State, Utah State, I think was a borderline get-in. They lost, right? Then they lost to Boise at a conference, 74-70. They beat Utah, who's not a tournament team. They beat San Diego State. That was their big one at San Diego State, 72-62. They beat Texas Southern, 87-71, who you guys think Michigan can't beat by 100. I don't know. You lose to Gonzaga by 20 a couple times here. Get dragged around 82-71. You kept it within 11. I don't know, man. Kept it within 10 against Gonzaga. That's a 6 seed in this tournament. I just don't see it. I don't think it's fair. I don't understand. You think so? Oklahoma went 15-10 in the Big 12, and you think that BYU would go 15-10 in the Big 12? Because I tell you, it's a lot tougher than playing Boise every night, who beat the crap out of them. I don't know. They did beat Rod's Privateers 86-61. I left that one out.
Yeah. I had BYU in that one, too. I think they were done.
I just don't think wins over St. Mary's and San Francisco and they lost to Pepperdine. I don't see this resume, I don't understand. This is, I said this in my video, too, in that same Wisconsin video. It's like the guys who make the selection, the formula for being selected into the NCAA tournament is so complicated that I've been watching this stuff for over 50 years, and I can't figure it out. There's only 2 guys who can figure it out, right? Out of everybody in the world, there's 2 people that can figure this thing out, how they select these teams. And then those people try and explain it to us in a way that I still don't understand it. And this is how you end up with BYU as the 6th seed playing a play-in team.
Well, they did beat San Diego State, Utah State, St. John's.
Yeah, they beat San Diego State.
St. Mary's, San Francisco. I mean, they have some good wins.
St. Mary's not a tournament team. San Francisco's not a tournament team. They lost to USC. They lost to USC by 23.
Oh, that wasn't their day.
That was a neutral site game, though. It was in Connecticut. It was way closer to USC than them. Actually, it's not, right?
I mean, I'd rather see the St. Louis. I'd rather see the Billikens in it. And I'd rather see Colorado State. But it didn't happen.
I think Colorado State was a team that deserved to be in. I just do, and I think there was a few others too. Whatever, man. It's always like this.
You're filibustering.
Who's up? I forgot we were. Rod, you're up, or Ron?
I'm up. Yep. I'm gonna take the Zags, lay the minus 33.5, and it's Norfolk is lucky to be here. They jumped out to a nice first half lead, got hot shooting, and then they hung on against App State and barely hung on. They play like that in the second half. The Zags are going to chew them up and spin them out and eat them for dinner, 100 to whatever. I'll lay the points with the Zags. I also like the over in that one. And I like UCLA as well. Was on them last game, and good spot here. I think I'm going to take UCLA money line. I think they can outright BYU. The only question mark that worries me a little is Juzang to see if his ankle's going to hold up. He rolled his ankle at the end of the last game. But I think he's young. He'll be good to go. I don't know if he's going to be 100%, but even him at 90% be a nice addition to beating up this BYU team. And I don't agree. I like Texas. Give me Texas beat up Abilene Christian. Double-digit win for Texas in that one. And I'm not touching VCU either. Give me the Ducks. Wah.
Ducks. You, Rod.
Double-digit win over VCU.
I like Gonzaga here, too. This is one of those ridiculous Gonzaga
Stomping.
Yep. 100.
You're missing your roots, Mitch. The dog in the first round.
I know, but it's like... I know, but
it's... a dog that's got some fight. There was no fight
There's nothing there.
No.
Nothing there. I like UCLA. Mizzou.
I did learn one thing. The books are very good about the number against Gonzaga. It always seems to be right there, right at that number.
They're not usually that good about number one seeds in the NCAA tournament, though, when they're runaway games.
They're better games.
They nailed Baylor. They did nail Baylor, but Baylor was a hook game. But I like Mizzou here against Oklahoma. Both these teams really staggered down the stretch. I think that Texas Abilene, I could see Abilene hanging, but I could see Shaka getting it done in the second half. Just he's got too much talent there. I think Abilene's got a good team, but like I said, if they play in the Big 12, the numbers are going to look a lot different. And you have to remember that. You have to take that into account. And I think we say it in college football, if they played in the SEC, would they be this? Sometimes, it depends who you draw in the schedule, Vandy, whatever. But in college hoops, you play everybody twice, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like college football where it's like, but we didn't play Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Florida this year on our schedule. It just happened to be that way, right? I mean, there are SEC teams that draw that, but not in hoops. Anyways, Brian, you selling any hoops packages today for March Madness?
There's a bear crap in the woods, definitely 100%. 4-1 yesterday, 34-22, 62% running college basketball. I never had a losing March Madness big time tournament. I got my Brian Bittler's first round game of the year 5-pack. You get my first round game of the year, plus my golden ticket, plus my Saturday Elite Info, my President's Choice. All 5 college basketball, $50 at pickdogs.com premium picks.
5-1, 4-1 for Brian. Killer day. He said it going into yesterday. He called it. He's like, he goes, for me, March Madness begins today, and I'm going to knock the cover off the bottom. He absolutely did.
Got to follow it up with another big one.
I think it's tough, like when people that look at the leaderboard of the cappers, and I had this a couple weeks ago. It's like you go 4-1, it's like plus 290 in units, and it doesn't show up. So it's like it's funny because like I have access to my full record and I know where I am and everything. And it's like to me, it's like I know I'm having a bad year, but it's like if we just counted our record and didn't count the units, it's like I'm right there. I'm a good week away from turning the entire year around. But because we count units, I got all that juice to make up, for the year. It's like it's the same way I looked at everybody's, So I know what it is. So it's like if you have a site and they're just showing the record and not the units,
what matters is
it is a massive difference. I mean,
the Iceman could be 60%, but he takes minus 200. So,
I mean, every 100 games you bet, every 100 picks you give out is 1,000. Every 100 losses is an additional 1,000 units that you lost. Every 100 games, so it adds up in a hurry. If you give out 600-700 games a year, 800 games a year, more than that, right? Most cappers give out 1,000 games a year. It's 10,000 units that are being excluded from the record. It's like, that's gigantic, right? It's not like, it's off $20 or it's off $100. It's off $10,000. That could be the difference between a winning year and a losing year. a lot bigger winning you, because it could look like you were up $3,000 for the year when you were actually down $7,000. Ours, it counts the actual. I was looking at this because, like in the NFL, I had a rough start in the NFL. I came on strong at the end. I had a winning record in the NFL, but my units were slightly below. Same thing in college football. I had a winning record, just my units were slightly below because we count the juice. If we don't count the juice, we should show records up there too. You guys, should we show records too, or just units? I think the units is always good. I don't know.
I think units is the way to go.
Yeah, it's the honest way, you know. If you're looking for dishonest accounting, you just look at the guys that just show their records, especially baseball and hockey.
Mm.
Anyways, I digress. Ron, you selling anything today? I know you had a winning day yesterday.
Yep, nice 4-2 day. I needed that bounce back day.
He tried to bad vibe me. I got a couple texts about the Rutgers game, and I just had to shut him up. I was just like, I am not letting you talk me out of this cover because I am going to cover easily. And
We are going to cover.
And then I'm going to eat some shrimp.
Yep.
That's exactly.
And at the end of the game, I said, I told you, Mitch, you got to listen to me a little bit more often because it was an easy winner. I wasn't worried at all. But, yep, nice winning day yesterday. And today I got 6 more plays up there. My Saturday Super 6. My favorite plays of the day in college hoops. And I'm looking to keep it going. 34.95 for my top 6 plays.
Rod Zwacky.
For me, good day yesterday. 6-3 in college hoops. Can't complain about that. Another winning day.
Oh, there'll be people that complain about it. Trust me.
Oh, I know. There's people out there that'll complain about it. For sure.
Plenty of people that complain about it.
Been rolling college hoops for well over a month now of winning days. Rolling. And today I got a 7-pack. Excited for today's action. Making more cash. Got this touchdown of best bets in college basketball. We're going to keep crushing the books. Jump aboard. Don't miss out. Just keep making money.
Missouri
Don't forget
now.
the premium show, YouTube, 6-0 yesterday. So
Yep.
if you guys aren't on it, then
Missouri
get
now.
with the program.
Missouri now favored by a point over Oklahoma in that game. Oregon line down to 5 in most places. Iowa down
VCU.
14, 13.5. LSU 2 in most places. BYU down to 3.5 in most places. Definitely some early line movement here today. It hasn't really been the line movement through the first few days here has not been in sync with cashing. That's for sure. It has not. There's been very little correlation the first 2 days. There's been a few spots, but certainly not all. I think it's 50-50. Anyways, I got a 5-pack today. I might add an additional game for long-term subscribers. You don't have to write me and ask. You'll see it if I post it. It's a late game. But anyways, yeah, I think I will have one ad, a late game for long-termers or people that have my March Madness package. But, yeah, 6-0 yesterday. Certainly can't guarantee I'm going to do that every day, but like Brian, I've never had a losing March Madness NCAA tournament. I've had better years and worse years, but I've never had an outright losing. I've had one year I had, my worst day I ever had was the first day, and I still managed to have a winning year. And that was the year, I've said it before, that was the year that I said, I'm going to give a premium pick in every game of the NCAA tournament this year. Yeah. Dumbass. Learned my lesson, but I tell you what, if I would have done it yesterday, it would have been way up. I would have had like Alex Smart numbers, or VIP numbers. I would have been up there with that. I would have been like 13. I was like 13-3 or 14-2. My bets yesterday. I don't even know what the losses would have been, to be honest. Anyways, NBA, we got a 5-game card tonight and 10 tomorrow. And, of course, got a lot of college basketball left still. Got a whole nother we got tomorrow games to go to the Sweet 16. We got 8 games tomorrow, right, in college hoops. And then on Monday we have even more because there's CBI mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So lines are out.
Go Hatters.
Lines are out for tomorrow. We got some good ones. Wisconsin, Baylor, North Texas, Villanova. How about all those people dissing Villanova yesterday? It was like, man, it's like, what? Jay Wright's bench all of a sudden is a bunch of scrubs. It's like this guy. Yeah, he's
I was
like
impressed with them.
He's like 2 years removed from a national championship. You'd think the guy's like can recruit or what? It's like Jay Wright shows up at your house. Where are you gonna go, to him or Mick Cronin? Texas Tech against Arkansas. Ooh, that's like a nice Southwestern battle, right? Got Oral Roberts and Florida, 2 teams that not a lot of people thought were going to be there. Loyola Chicago against Illinois. That's like a typical tournament battle. That's like when Cincinnati plays Ohio State or Xavier Ohio State, right? Something like that, similar. Loyola Chicago against Illinois. That should be a gem. Oklahoma State and Oregon State. Man, that should be a really good one, too. How about Oregon State playing teams with similar colors to them in the first 2 rounds?
Oh, yeah.
See, in Oklahoma State is like...
And then Illinois, if they win,
yeah, it could continue. Syracuse against West Virginia. Wow. See, here it is. This is what it's all about. It's like after that first round, now it's like, then Rutgers, Houston. Ron was really anti-Rutgers, even though he had him yesterday. Yeah, looks good. Looks like a nice day. And then plus with 10 NBA games on top of that tomorrow. Speaking of NBA, let's get right into it. Just 5 games tonight. Lakers, Hawks in afternoon matinee action. You got, and that's from Staples, so it's a 12:30 start, West Coast game. West Coast. Then you got the Sixers against the Kings. No Embiid, no problem for the Sixers, man. They have been rocking it. Got Memphis up against Golden State. Looks like Curry might be back because I see the line drop in there. I don't know. I'll have to take a look as we take a little deeper. Got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Spurs. Pop shown once again last night why he's Pop. And the Clippers against the Hornets. Yes, a better world. A world with no Clippers. Brian, any of these 5?
Yeah, no shocker. I'm going to fade the Lakers to take the Hawks. They've won, I think, 7 straight games. They're getting 4.5 here. It's nothing I'm betting the house on, but to keep me interested in the NBA, I'm going to take the points in the Hawks. I like the Spurs with all those points against the Bucks. Spurs have been a good cover team, and you're getting a boatload of points. And I'm going to take a shot with Sacramento Kings. I know they're on a back-to-back, but the Sixers, no Curry or Embiid. I know they've done well even without Embiid, but I just think the Sixers sleepwalk through this one. I think the Kings can keep it respectable. But the best bet out of all those is probably the Spurs plus the points.
It's just waiting for Brian to say, I really like the Lakers today. It's just grooving on them.
I'd much rather bet college basketball today.
Really grooving.
NBA
Takes off the button down. He's got the Kobe jersey underneath.
That's not happening.
He's got the Kobe 8 jersey. The good one. It's the good one. Ron, how about you? In the NBA, NBA has not been my friend this year, but I'm gonna start to really dial in on it.
Yeah.
I've kind of haven't been as dialed in. Today's my day.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of value taking a 3-team parlay. Lakers, Bucks, Clippers on the money line. I'm just kidding. But take the under in the Hawks-Lakers game. The Hawks, don't look now, they're on a 7-game win streak, and what's been the difference maker? They've played defense. I mean, we didn't think that this team could play defense, but they've only given up 115 or more points in one of those 7 wins. So
coaching change.
Starting to play some defense.
Coaching change. You know.
Yeah,
The
and
coaching change.
you know, they're only giving up 110 now. After I think it was like 115 plus before. We know the Lakers play defense; they only give up 106 points per game. I think this is going to be a slower paced game. The total opened up at 221.5. It's down to 220, 219.5 in some spots. Like the under in this game.
UConn now 3.5 against Maryland. Rod?
I'm with Ron. I like the under in the Lakers game as well. It's like the Hawks are back to playing defense again. They started the year playing defense, and then they scrapped that, and then now they're back to playing defense again. It's like so we've seen them play defense like they did at the start of the year and look real good doing it. This day game, getting up early. It's not like they played a lot of day games lately, so it's an early start. Tired eyes, legs are going to be slow. Love the under in that one. Warriors won the last one. Grizzlies aren't going to lose 2 in a row. I'm going to take the Grizzlies. I like the Grizzlies to bounce back. Curry in or not. And I'll take the 76ers over the Kings. I don't trust the Kings. And the 76ers look good even without Embiid in there. And the Bucks are dead to me. No Bucks. They can't cover anything. They're dead. Give me the Spurs. No Bucks. No Bucks for me ever. For the
You
rest
guys
of
remember
the
since the
season,
beginning, number one team in the East is the Sixers. They're going to prove it they're going to play the Clippers in the finals. Been saying it all year.
And I like the Clippers at home. Double-digit win for the Clippers at home on Saturday night. Initially.
Lakers, Sixers, Grizzlies, Spurs, Hornets. In that order.
Lakers.
That's the order the game started. Lakers, Sixers, Grizzlies, Spurs, Hornets. Yeah.
Clippers.
Wow. The real hero is that girder.
I don't know. You're a Laker guy now.
Me?
Oh, yeah. Lakers are going to win today.
You're taking Lakers every game lately.
I am?
I'm just teasing.
21-20 against the number.
Huh? What are they?
21-20 against the number.
Oh, wow. Yeah, 21-20.
It's better than 20-21. We know where
They're like Gonzaga against.
Brian's like, if it's not Arizona State at 3-48 against the number, I don't want any part of it.
Hey, Arizona State. Yeah.
Brian's like, I have my worst college basketball. I was like, yeah, he took Arizona State every game. It's like, I wonder what happened.
I didn't take them every game. I took them some.
It's like the one bad team in the Pac-12. How about Arizona not being in the tournament quietly? Arizona and Louisville, right? Quietly not in. Those are two teams that have got to be majorly disappointed. Who gets that Indiana job, Ron? Rick Pitino? My call. That's what I called. And
Really?
There's early rumors, stirring.
Maybe.
Who else?
He likes those guys in Iona. How do you leave that job?
Well, I'm sure Indiana can be Party Town USA too in Bloomington. Any other candidates for that Indiana job?
I think we're just going to see who performs well in the tournament. These smaller teams, you never know. Like these mid-major coaches that lead their teams, they always seem to, like Brad Underwood with SFA went to Illinois right away.
But do you think Indiana is willing to make that kind of move after they just brought Archie Miller up from?
Oh yeah,
After they just failed there.
Yeah,
or
they'll probably find a safe option.
Like a heavy hitter, like they're on the phone with like Billy Donovan, and like Brad Stevens, guys like that. You want to come back home, Brad?
That's pretty interesting,
right? I mean, these are the type of guys that they're likely after. That's if I have a list, that's my list, right? Brad Stevens, Billy Donovan. I don't know. Everyone's available these days. Ever since Nick Saban left the Dolphins to go back to Alabama, everyone's available. Everybody. Rick Pitino left the Celtics, went to Kentucky or Louisville, right? Everyone's available. Everybody. How about Greg Marshall? Another guy. I think Greg Marshall could end up with that Iona job. I think Archie Miller's going to get a good job, too. I mean, these guys, they show up. I mean, Mike Anderson, these guys get jobs. Archie Miller's not. And look at Drew from Vandy. He's got the Antelopes in the tournament. That's all they wanted. Dan Marley was a pretty good coach there. He was not bad, but he couldn't get him into the tournament. It's like, you can't get me in the tournament. I don't care about it. We won the regular conference title. I don't care. I like that. It's like, you won the regular conference title, you're fired. That was the answer. That was their answer. It's like they canceled the tournament. We couldn't get in. Exactly. You didn't make the tournament. You just said it. You're fired. You bring in Drew. He gets fired from Vandy after a nice job at Valpo, and here they are. They're dancing. They're playing Iowa. That's all they wanted.
He was fantastic at Valpo.
Yeah, it's all they wanted. It's all they wanted. I like it. I like this stuff. Anyways, it's kind of because the Indiana job is kind of it's one of the jobs in college basketball. Yeah. It's one of the top the top of the top. It's Kentucky. It's like a Kentucky, Louisville, Indiana, Duke, North Carolina. I mean, these are the big ones, Michigan State. But those Michigan State, jobs like that, the guys stay forever. Indiana hopes to get a guy to stay forever. It's like, oh, man. Anyways, it brings us to my favorite segment of the show. I'm obviously stalling. Oh, my God. How many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 NHL games. All right.
Fastest 3 minutes in hockey?
Ugh, this is the worst. You got
3 minutes? 3 minutes isn't bad.
This is terrible. This is where everyone starts to tune out on the show. You got the Devils, Penguins, the Panthers, Predators, Avalanche, Smudges, the Lightning against the Blackhawks. Any of those four, Brian, just make you want to get out of your chair and turn the channel away from March Madness?
No, but I think the Devils are a solid value. They've won 2 straight. Looking for another win over the Penguins. Penguins lost 2 straight. Devils are better than their record indicates, as I've been saying all year. I like the Blackhawks plus the 1.5. I think they can keep it respectable. Well, I think they lost 4-2 last game in Tampa. I think this one stays within a goal.
Ron?
Yeah, everything Brian said for the Devils is what I'm going to say. Devils money line.
Rod?
Those three in that spot. I'm going to give you a 3-team birdcage. We're gonna take the New Jersey Devils on the money line. We're gonna take the Nashville Predators on the money line, and we're gonna take the Minnesota Wild on the money line. 3-team dog, all early morning. Nice NHL winner right there.
Got the Islanders and the Flyers. The Hurricane are playing the Blue Jackets. The Capitals against the Rangers. The Red Wings against the Stars. The Canadians against the Canucks. And the Maple Leafs against the Flames. All the 7 o'clock Eastern Time games. Brian, any of these just beauties just pop off the page and say, you know what? I'm going to turn off March Madness and start watching some pucks.
Oh, the Flyers got a shocking win. Last time out, they rebounded from that 9-0 loss to the Rangers. I think they could do it again against the Islanders. So I'm going to take the plus money with the Flyers. I'm going to do 100 on the Devils, 100 on the Flyers. I almost guarantee we're going to see some profit on those two.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. Call me biased, but I think the Islanders bounce back. Tough 3-0. They were down 3-0, came all the way back, and then gave up the deciding goal in the last minutes. I think you'll see a better effort from New York in this one, and I think they win this game. I'll take them on the money line. You're still getting a decent price at that -130.
For me, I'll take the New York Islanders to win in regulation. Knock off some of that juice off the -130. The books are just begging you. That's why they got the Flyers the way they got them, and everybody's jumped on them. It's like the Flyers train is. Why are the Flyers plus money in this spot? They won the last game. Makes no sense to me. Well, it does make sense to me. I think the Islanders are going to win this game hands down.
Islanders are the better team. That's why they're favored.
I'll tell you what, they could cancel the NHL season. I wouldn't even notice. Kind of like last year. It's like they canceled. I was like, really? I missed it. It's kind of like if they held the Olympics across the street from my house, right? It wouldn't affect me. It's like I would not care. It's like all of a sudden, it's like the Olympics come around. It's like all of a sudden, everyone's an expert on figure skating. Oh man, did you see that? Everyone's an expert on the biathlon.
Well, yeah, they did that big jump. They did a triple style cow and a big Lutz.
I'll show them a big Lutz. Big Lutz. I'm so done with figure skating, man. It's like, what is the Summer Olympics this year? Tokyo? They doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Doing it? Non-COVID Olympics? Got track and field. Some decathlete going on. I like the Olympics when nobody got paid. And I don't, without Jim McKay, it's like, why bother? It's not fun anymore. Jim McKay was the Olympics. Anaheim Ducks against the Coyotes. San Jose Sharks against the St. Louis Blues. Edmonton against Winnipeg. Jets. And actually, the Buffalo Sabres and Bruins game is postponed, so we only have 3 games in the slot. Yeah, my lucky day. Brian, you look as enthusiastic about this hockey segment as I am. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm going to take a slight lean to the Winnipeg Jets at the plus money. I'm going with all dogs, I think, today. I'm not going to break precedents. I had the Oilers in the other game. I think Winnipeg can come back and get another win here today. I just think it's very good value there. Sound Winnipeg team.
Yeah, for me, I'm not in love with the latter end of the schedule. I'll take a small lean on the Sharks money line, getting the plus money at home against the Blues.
Rod?
Yeah, for sure. This is the spot to take the Sharks. Not yesterday. The Blues got the win with Bennington and net. Now the Blues backup will be in net. This is the spot to take the Sharks on the money line to beat the Blues. The Coyotes, I'm going to take on the puck line to beat the Ducks. They're still the Ducks, and they still can't score. And I'm going to take the Jets. Just beat the Oilers last game. They'll do it again. Jet.
How many more weeks are left in the hockey season?
We're only about halfway, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's going to be good, though. When you get down to it goes deeper, gives us more options for
maybe
picks.
Ruffalo, because like he does the drive-through like Monday through Friday. Maybe we give him like a weekend hockey show or something. Just can't do it. I hate it. Really can't stand it.
That's wrong with hockey. Hockey has winners too.
I don't care, man. I don't have to bet on everything. It's like I'd rather. I don't have to bet on everything. I'd rather go sit in the pool. It's like I don't bet for the sake of betting. I'm not like a tennis expert or anything. It's like you see me like.
Oh no, I'm not.
Like you see these guys,
Here, have some
like Rod posts NASCAR in the Facebook group. It's like
3 minus
I would
400.
bet on that
NASCAR,
shit either.
yeah,
Man.
I'll put NASCAR in the Facebook group. It's just too much work to try to put it in here.
Jeter does it, man.
Well, he's a little more knowledgeable on the NASCAR. That's his gig. He loves his NASCAR. I think he's probably driving to Bristol as we speak now.
he lives like 3 miles from the track, or less.
How far is he from Atlanta? I think there's the race in Atlanta.
No
You
idea.
got the dirt track going, and then there's one
No
in
idea.
Atlanta too. I think it's a crazy
I gotta say,
race and skill.
I love sports. I mean, it's my whole life, right? But there are certain sports that I don't care about. I mean, I just do not care. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna like go around. Oh man, it's like the people that all of a sudden all of a sudden became what's that game? Snooker cappers, right? It's like let's cap some snooker. It's like what? What are you guys doing? What are you doing? Let's go. I get like emails people. Yeah, you should cover darts. It's like I'm blocking you. Blocking your email.
Yeah, most people look at snooker and go, "What is going on? What is going on? What are these colored balls? How does this work?"
Your email.
Must hit a red one, then you can hit a colored one. Hit a red one, then you can hit a colored one.
All right. So what's your parlay, Rod?
My parlay, we're going to go Dayton plus the points, Iona plus the points, UCLA plus the points.
Ron?
I'm going to take a 3-team parlay. 2 in college hoops, Grand Canyon plus the points and UCLA plus the points. And then the under in the Lakers-Hawks game.
Brian?
I would have had Colorado in this parlay, but I'm afraid some guys will tune in and miss out on my parlay. I like this one just as good. UC Santa Barbara plus the points, Grand Canyon plus the points, and VCU plus the points.
I'm going to go with Gonzaga minus 138. Shaka Smart, Texas, and Ohio money line against Virginia. Anyways, this is Mitch for the gang. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you, whether you take the half a second to hit the like button or not, whether you're premium members or not. Of course, our best bets always are our premium picks. Those are the ones we're most confident in. Those are the ones we're betting today. Of course, we have our YouTube premium as well. The best deal in town. So it's such a good deal, I hate it. But we continue to do it because you guys like it, and that's what it's all about. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day, and enjoy March Madness. Bet with your head not over it. And, of course, we're going to try and act more professional tomorrow.